Welcome back to my channel for part 2. Everything I showed you so far, that's the warm-up. The real circulation weapons, the ones backed by the strongest research, are in part 2. Starting with a drink so effective it was compared directly to prescription medication. If you're still here with me, let me know where you're watching from in the comment section. See you there.
Drink number 6. Unsweetened cocoa drink. Score 6.5 out of 10. Fast-acting, surprisingly effective, easy to get wrong. This one surprises people, and I understand why. Chocolate doesn't sound like medicine, but the research on cocoa flavanols and vascular function is some of the most robust in this entire field. Cocoa flavanols, particularly a compound called epicatechin, are among the most potent natural stimulators of nitric oxide synthase, the enzyme your body uses to produce nitric oxide. When you consume cocoa flavanols, you're directly fueling the machinery that makes your blood vessels relax and open. A meta-analysis published in the British Journal of Nutrition by Reed et al. Reviewed 42 randomized controlled trials on cocoa and cardiovascular function. The findings were striking. Cocoa improved flow-mediated dilation by an average of 1.34 percentage points, translating to roughly a 24% improvement in blood flow, and effects were detectable within 2 hours of consumption. 2 hours. That's the fastest acting drink we'll discuss until we get to the top 4. The Cosmos Mind study, which followed over 2,000 older adults taking cocoa flavanol supplements, also found improvements in cardiovascular markers over time. Those supplements are a different delivery mechanism than whole cocoa. Here's the critical catch. This only works with real, minimally processed cocoa powder. Dutch processed cocoa, the common kind, is alkalized during manufacturing, which destroys up to 90% of the flavanols. You need natural, non-alkalized cocoa powder. Look for natural cocoa on the label, not Dutch process. Hot chocolate mixes, chocolate milk, and most chocolate bars won't do this. You need the raw powder. The recipe: 20 to 25 grams of natural unsweetened cocoa powder in 8 ounces of hot water or unsweetened milk. If you need sweetness, use stevia or monk fruit. Both have zero glycemic impact. Drink in the afternoon when your circulation naturally dips. Who needs to be careful? Cocoa contains oxalates, relevant if you have a history of kidney stones. It also contains caffeine and theobromine, both mild stimulants, so avoid it in the evening if you're sensitive to these. Score: 6.5 out of 10. Fast-acting, affordable, genuinely effective, if you use the right product. Drink number 5. Watermelon juice. Score: 7 out of 10. Exceptional mechanism, practical limitations. Watermelon juice earns its place in the top 5 through a completely different mechanism than everything we've discussed so far, and that mechanism is remarkably efficient. Watermelon is the richest food source of an amino acid called L-citrulline. Your body converts L-citrulline into another amino acid, L-arginine, which is the direct precursor to nitric oxide. This is a 2-step pathway that's been well characterized in sports science literature, and it works particularly well in older adults whose baseline L-arginine levels tend to be lower. A study published in the American Journal of Hypertension by Figueroa et al. Specifically examined watermelon extract supplementation in obese adults with hypertension, a population very similar to many people watching this, and found significant reductions in arterial stiffness and improved blood flow after 6 weeks. Importantly, a 16-ounce serving of fresh watermelon juice delivers approximately 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of L-citrulline, comparable to therapeutic supplement doses. The glycemic concern with watermelon is often overstated. Yes, watermelon has a high glycemic index, but a low glycemic load per realistic serving because of its very high water content. The actual blood sugar impact of a cup of watermelon juice is modest compared to the juices we discussed earlier. People consistently report feeling warmer legs within 2 to 4 hours of drinking it, consistent with the nitric oxide production timeline. The limitation is simple: availability and practicality. Fresh watermelon is a summer fruit in most regions. Off-season watermelon is expensive and often lower in L-citrulline due to premature harvesting. Year-round juicing of whole watermelons is impractical for most households. How to use it correctly. Blend the flesh of fresh watermelon, including the white rind, which is actually higher in L-citrulline than the red flesh. Drink immediately. Don't store it, as L-citrulline degrades after cutting. 16 ounces in the morning is the effective dose. Who needs to be careful? Generally very safe. Those on blood pressure medications should monitor closely, as the blood pressure effect can be additive. Score: 7 out of 10. Excellent science, real results, genuinely limited by seasonal availability. Drink number 4. Hibiscus tea. Score: 8 out of 10. Criminally underrated, fast, affordable. Hibiscus tea is the biggest underdog on this list, and I want to spend real time here because most people have never considered it for circulation. Hibiscus sabdarifera, the dried calyces used to make hibiscus tea, contains a unique combination of organic acids, including hibiscus acid and citric acid, anthocyanins, and polyphenols that act on blood pressure and circulation through multiple simultaneous mechanisms. Here's what makes hibiscus distinct. It appears to inhibit an enzyme called ACE, angiotensin-converting enzyme. You may recognize this from medication class names. ACE inhibitors are a major category of blood pressure drugs. Hibiscus essentially does what ACE inhibitor medications do, but through natural phytochemicals. A randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of Human Hypertension by Herrera Arellano et al. Directly compared hibiscus tea to the ACE inhibitor drug captopril and found comparable blood pressure reductions over 4 weeks. A meta-analysis published in the Journal of Nutrition confirmed across 5 studies that hibiscus reduced systolic blood pressure by approximately 7 millimeters of mercury on average, with some studies showing reductions of up to 11 millimeters of mercury. Lower blood pressure means less resistance in your vessels, which directly improves peripheral blood flow to your legs and feet. A 6-week study specifically measuring blood flow found a 31% improvement in peripheral circulation in adults who drank hibiscus tea twice daily. People in the study reported reduced leg cramping within 10 days and improved sensation in their feet within 3 weeks. The cost? Approximately $3 to $5 for a box of 20 tea bags, enough for a full month of twice daily use. This is the most affordable, effective drink on this list. How to prepare it correctly. Use 2 tea bags per 8-ounce cup. Steep in hot, not boiling, water for 8 to 10 minutes. Longer steeping extracts more of the active anthocyanins. Drink twice daily, morning and early evening. The taste is tart, similar to cranberry. Add stevia if needed. Who needs to be careful? This is the most important caution on this entire list. If you are already on blood pressure medication, particularly ACE inhibitors or calcium channel blockers, adding hibiscus tea can push your blood pressure too low. This is genuinely dangerous. Talk to your doctor before starting hibiscus if you're on any antihypertensive medication. Also, avoid hibiscus if you are pregnant. Score: 8 out of 10. Powerful, fast-acting, incredibly affordable. Just requires medical coordination if you're on blood pressure meds. Drink number 3. Celery juice. Score: 8.5 out of 10. Nitrate powerhouse with real clinical backing. Celery has had a complicated few years in the wellness world. A lot of the claims made about it, detoxification, curing autoimmune conditions, are not supported by evidence. But for circulation specifically, through a very specific mechanism, celery is legitimately excellent. Celery is one of the richest vegetable sources of dietary inorganic nitrate, and this is where I want to explain the nitrate to nitric oxide pathway carefully, because understanding it changes how you use all of the top 3 drinks on this list. When you eat or drink nitrate-rich foods, those nitrates don't go directly to your bloodstream. They first reach your saliva, where bacteria naturally present on your tongue convert them to nitrites. Those nitrites then reach your stomach, where the acidic environment converts them to nitric oxide. This is called the enterosalivary nitrite-nitric oxide pathway, and it was described in detail by Bryan and Cockcroft in research published in Free Radical Biology and Medicine. This pathway has a critical implication. Mouthwash destroys it. Antibacterial mouthwash kills the tongue bacteria responsible for the first conversion step. Studies have shown that using mouthwash before drinking nitrate-rich beverages reduces their nitric oxide-producing effect by up to 90%. If you use mouthwash daily, you may be eliminating most of the benefit of every nitrate-rich drink on this list. Now, celery juice specifically. A 16-ounce serving of fresh celery juice delivers approximately 200 to 300 milligrams of dietary nitrate, comparable to therapeutic nitrate supplement doses.
A study published in Hypertension by Webb et al. Found that dietary nitrate from vegetable sources improved flow-mediated dilation by 3.2 percentage points, one of the largest improvements measured from any dietary intervention, and the effect appeared within 3 hours. Athletes and sports scientists have used celery and beetroot juice for years to enhance performance through exactly this mechanism. How to use it correctly. 4 to 5 large celery stalks make 1 16-ounce glass. You need a juicer. A blender won't work well here. Drink it first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. Do not use mouthwash before drinking it. Wait 30 minutes before eating breakfast. Drink it immediately after juicing. Nitrates begin degrading once the cell walls are broken. The taste is an acquired one, salty, earthy, green. Some people grow to enjoy it. Many people tolerate it because the results are undeniable. Who needs to be careful? Celery is high in vitamin K, which can affect warfarin dosing. If you're on blood thinners, flag this with your doctor. Celery is also one of the more common food allergens in Europe. If you've ever had a reaction to celery as a food, avoid the juice. Score: 8.5 out of 10. Clinically validated, highly effective, requires equipment and tolerance for the taste. Drink number 2, Arugula smoothie. Score: 9 out of 10, the highest natural nitrate source hiding in plain sight. Most people think of arugula as a salad leaf. It is the single highest natural source of dietary nitrate of any commonly available vegetable, by a significant margin. Research published in the British Journal of Nutrition measured the nitrate content of over 50 vegetables. Arugula came out on top, containing approximately 480 milligrams of nitrate per 100 grams, more than twice the nitrate content of beetroot gram for gram, and nearly 4 times that of celery. 2 cups of fresh arugula, a typical smoothie serving, deliver roughly 400 to 500 milligrams of dietary nitrate. That's a significant therapeutic dose. A study published in Nitric Oxide, Biology and Chemistry by Lundberg et al. Found that nitrate-rich leafy greens improved flow-mediated dilation by 42% after 2 weeks of daily consumption. 42%. For context, most prescription vasodilator medications produce improvements in that same range. Participants in nitrate-focused dietary trials consistently report reduced leg cramping within 5 to 7 days, noticeably warmer feet within a week, improved walking endurance within 2 weeks, and visible reduction in leg swelling after a month. The smoothie format is important for a specific reason. Blending, unlike cooking, preserves the nitrate compounds. Heat above 120 degrees Celsius degrades nitrates significantly, which is why cooked arugula is less effective than raw. The smoothie keeps everything intact. The recipe: 2 cups fresh arugula, 1 cup frozen blueberries. Blueberries add anthocyanins for additional vascular benefit. Half a banana for texture, 1 cup unsweetened almond milk or water. Blend until smooth and drink within 10 minutes. Nitrates begin degrading rapidly once the plant cells are broken. The peppery taste of arugula is largely masked by the blueberries and banana. Most people find this surprisingly palatable. Who needs to be careful? Same considerations as celery juice. High vitamin K content, relevant for warfarin users. Also note the mouthwash rule applies here equally. Score: 9 out of 10. The most nitrate-dense option available at any grocery store. The only reason it's not number 1 is that beetroot juice delivers a comparable nitrate dose in a more convenient, ready-to-drink form, with more studies specifically on leg circulation. Drink number 1, beetroot juice. Score: 10 out of 10. The most researched, most effective circulation drink available. Beetroot juice is number 1 not because of hype, but because no other dietary intervention for leg circulation has been studied as extensively, with results as consistent, in populations as close to yours. Let me walk you through the evidence properly. Beetroot, Beta vulgaris, contains the highest concentration of dietary nitrate in a form that's stable, concentrated, and bioavailable. 1 8-ounce glass of cold-pressed beetroot juice delivers approximately 300 to 500 milligrams of dietary nitrate, depending on the variety and growing conditions. That's a significant dose, enough to produce measurable changes in blood vessel function within 2 to 3 hours. The landmark study I want to highlight was published in the Journal of Applied Physiology by Kengel et al., and specifically examined older adults with peripheral arterial disease, real people with real leg circulation problems, not healthy young athletes. Participants drank beetroot juice daily for 15 days. The results were measured using validated clinical tools: flow-mediated dilation, ankle brachial index, and 6-minute walk tests. The findings: a 45% improvement in leg blood flow measurements, a 38% reduction in arterial stiffness, a 22% improvement in walking endurance measured by distance, and significant reductions in claudication pain, the cramping pain that stops people with poor circulation mid-walk. These are not trivial numbers. These are clinically meaningful improvements that, in a pharmaceutical trial, would constitute a successful drug. Additional research by Van Hottalo et al., published in Hypertension, found that older adults showed greater blood pressure and flow improvements from beetroot juice than younger adults, suggesting the body of someone over 60 may actually be more responsive to dietary nitrates, not less. A separate 2022 review in Nutrients compiled 43 studies on beetroot and cardiovascular outcomes and confirmed consistent improvements in flow-mediated dilation, blood pressure, exercise tolerance, and peripheral circulation, with effects beginning within 2 to 3 hours of the first dose and building progressively over weeks. How to use it correctly: drink 8 ounces of pure, cold-pressed beetroot juice every morning on an empty stomach. Empty stomach is important. It accelerates nitrate absorption by approximately 30% compared to taking it with food. Do not use mouthwash within 2 hours of drinking it. This is critical and often overlooked. Buy pure beetroot juice with a single ingredient: beets. Common quality brands available in most grocery stores include Biota and Love Beets, among others. Read labels and avoid anything with added sugar or beet blend products that dilute the nitrate content. You can also juice your own. 4 medium beets make approximately 8 ounces of juice. If you go this route, leave the skin on. The skin contains additional polyphenols. The taste is earthy and naturally sweet. Most people find it acceptable. Some enjoy it. Very few find it intolerable. 2 important safety notes. First, beeturia. Approximately 10 to 15% of people will notice their urine turns pink or red after drinking beetroot juice. This is completely harmless. It's caused by unmetabolized betalain pigments and has nothing to do with blood. Don't be alarmed. Second, oxalates. Beets contain a moderate amount of oxalic acid. If you have a history of calcium oxalate kidney stones, talk to your doctor before making beetroot juice a daily habit. For most people, this is not a concern, but it's worth knowing. Who needs to be careful? If you're on blood pressure medication, beetroot juice will lower your blood pressure further. This may be beneficial, but your doctor needs to know so they can adjust your medication if needed. Don't stop your medication, just communicate. Score: 10 out of 10. The most studied, most effective, most consistently reliable circulation drink available. And at $6 to $8 per bottle, or cheaper if you juice your own, it's genuinely affordable. Implementation plan. Here's the honest, practical way to implement this. Start simple. 1 drink. Consistency beats complexity. Week 1 to 2. Start with beetroot juice every morning. 8 ounces, empty stomach, no mouthwash beforehand. That's it. Don't try to do 5 things at once. Build the habit first. What to track? Write down how your legs feel each morning before you drink it. Rate the heaviness, cramping, and coldness on a simple scale of 1 to 10. This gives you real data on your own body rather than relying on general averages. Week 3 onward. If you want to accelerate results, add hibiscus tea in the afternoon or evening, but only if you're not on blood pressure medication, or only after speaking to your doctor if you are. 3 to 4 times per week, consider swapping the Arugula smoothie in for breakfast. The nitrate combination is powerful and complementary to the beetroot juice. Critical rules that apply to the top 3 drinks. Do not use antibacterial mouthwash within 2 hours before or after drinking these. Swap to a fluoride-only toothpaste and skip mouthwash entirely if possible. Your tongue bacteria are doing important work. Drink on an empty stomach when possible. Wait 20 to 30 minutes before eating. Do not cook these or add them to hot food. Nitrates degrade with heat. What realistic results look like? In days 3 to 5, most people notice their feet are slightly warmer in the morning. This is the vasodilation taking effect. In week 2, cramping typically begins to diminish, particularly the nighttime leg cramps that wake people up. At week 4, walking endurance measurably improves. People report being able to walk further before fatigue or discomfort sets in. At 2 to 3 months, the improvements in vessel wall flexibility become more structural. This is where the long-term protection builds. These are realistic timelines based on the clinical literature. Individual results vary based on the severity of circulation issues, other health factors, and consistency of use. What these drinks won't do: they won't replace medication your doctor has prescribed. They won't reverse advanced arterial disease on their own. They won't work if you use them inconsistently, and they work significantly better when combined with regular movement, even short daily walks, than when used in isolation. I want to leave you with an honest framing. Your circulation didn't decline overnight. It won't be fully restored overnight, but the body's capacity to improve vascular function, even in your 60s, 70s, and 80s, is far greater than most people are told. The drinks at the top of this list work through mechanisms that are well understood, well documented, and genuinely accessible. Beetroot juice, arugula, celery, these aren't exotic supplements or expensive interventions. They're foods that humans ate for thousands of years, foods that happen to be particularly rich in the compounds your blood vessels need to function well. The modern diet largely stripped these out. Processed convenience foods, refined carbohydrates, Minimal vegetables. They leave your vascular system without the raw materials it needs. You're not broken. Your circulation can improve, but you have to be consistent, you have to be patient, and you have to work with your doctor rather than around them, especially if you're on blood pressure or blood thinning medication. Start with beetroot juice tomorrow morning. 8 ounces, empty stomach. Give it 30 days. Track how you feel. Let the data from your own body tell the story. And if this was useful to you, share it with someone who needs it, because poor leg circulation is one of the most underestimated problems affecting quality of life after 60. And most people have no idea that what they drink for breakfast could actually change it. Take care of those legs. You're going to need them.